And okay, yes, I am finally gone live. Good morning. Good morning. Y'all know, I tell you, it's been a wonderful, I'm not going to say wonderful. It's been a day. That's all I'm going to say. The past 24 hours has been a day. There's not been anything of real fun to talk about. Um, One of my favorite employees that we currently have last night. Morning, Becca. One of my favorite employees that we had has her last night was last night. Surprisingly, she's only worked with us now for a couple of months, but she's really been a wonderful addition to the shop and to the team. And last night was her last night. And she is one of those, whenever we get new employees in, they warn them that I'm a real SOB, that don't don't take anything I say too personally. It's just I want the job done right, and that's the way it is. Well, last night she came up to me afterwards when she asked me to hang around till she got into work because she was okay, Becca. Yeah, I believe me, I know that feeling. I lurk all the time after 3 o'clock. From 3 to 11:30, all I'm doing is lurking. Well, actually, 2 o'clock on, because 2 o'clock is when I actually leave for work, and from there on, it's just a lurk. So, but she was running a few minutes late. Her taxi didn't show up on time, so she called and asked me to hang around because her replacement was already there and had started her shift. Got started on the shift work. And I did a little bit of supervising there to make certain she got started right and that she had things going, which she did. So I just sat out in the lobby area and I put all my stuff in my truck and waited for her to come in. She come in and I told her, well, I wish you well. I hope your future endeavors work out for you. I've got faith in you that they are going to work out. And she come over and she gave me a great big hug. And she said, everybody warned me about what a bastard you were. And that's just what she said. What a bastard. She goes, but I found you to be the best boss I've ever could want. Because you took the time to show me what you expected me to do and then held me to it. You didn't ask more of me. You didn't ask less. You just asked what you had told me you expected. And I mean, I just sort of stood there shocked. Because first of all, we do have a fairly strict no touch policy, especially, you know, especially with me. I mean, I'm the only white guy working there. And, you know, I'm very careful that I don't get pulled in any racist comment, anything that can be mistaken as racist, anything that can be mistaken as misogynistic, because I'm the only guy. We got one that works in this area. I mean, we got one male housekeeper, and then the director of operations is male, and other than that, everybody else up there is female. So, I've got to be. I'm very careful in what I say. I'm very careful in what I do. I try never to be off camera with any of the women. I don't. I'm very careful not to be off camera. It happens on occasion, but you know, I try not to be off the security cameras. I really wish they put a security camera up in the break room, because if there's going to be any place I'm off camera with them, it's back in the break room. Because usually, if I'm working with one of them, I stay back there, let them have control the front, and I just listen. And if any issues pop up that they can't handle, then I go to the front to either take over or give suggestions or whatever, depending on what the conditions are. But yeah, I mean, that was a thing last night. And so I did that hand thing that Canoe Reeves does. While she gave me the hugs, I sort of held my hands out to the side so that they could see my fingers were away from her body. Doing the wavy hand thing so that there'd be no chance of anybody accusing me of grabbing a butt or something. I'm not a Cuomo. So, but again, I wished her well, and I hope she does well. I really do. She was sharp. She was professional. A few bad habits, yes. I mean, nobody's a perfect employee. But there was nothing there that maturity wouldn't fix, and that's one thing that I've tried to teach my boss. I mean, my boss is 25. No, he's 35 years younger than I am. And one thing I've tried to teach him, because he was brought up very strict in the business, and his parents, who actually own the business, are very strict in everything. And being as he was brought up into it, he was held to a much higher standard at a very young age into how to do things. So I'm constantly having to remind him that a person 21, 22 years old just starting in this industry will not necessarily have the same maturity to handle the situations that he did at that age, because he was brought up in the business. By the time he was 21, he already had 10 years experience. So, yeah, he's finally come to understand, I think, what I'm talking about. A new person, regardless of their age, won't necessarily be able to handle all the situations, because it's something dealing with this customer base, this clientele. You get things that you don't necessarily see working in other businesses. The hospitality industry is really, really a creature untowards itself. I learned years ago that when people come on vacation, the last thing they do before they leave the house is they take out their brains, their common sense, and common courtesy, put them in jars, and leave them up on the mantle. Because when they show up to the hotels or wherever they're staying, they expect to be treated as if they are paying $1,000 a night, and you have full concierge service. Like what they expect, like what you see in the movies and on TV, uh, when they check into these big fancy hotels in New York or Las Vegas or something. They don't realize that. I mean, I've had people ask me to, well, how long is it going to be before my bags get carried up to my rooms? Depends on how fast you decide to carry them up. That's my usual response. Somebody at 11 o'clock at night, somebody will call down and say they want fresh, uh, uh, fresh towels brought to the room, and I'll tell them, well, bring down your dirty towels, and I'll be more than glad to exchange them out. Well, can't you bring them to me? No, I'm the only person here, and we're not supposed to leave the desk area after dark. And that's just a safety issue, not so much for me, but for any the one. I mean, we do have women that work the overnight shift, so that's just policy that nobody leaves the front desk area after 10 o'clock at night. I always recommend anybody working after dark, especially overnight shift, check with your local and state laws, but have some form of protection, legal protection with you. If you're allowed to carry mace with you, that's fine. If you're and then of course, what your employer will allow. If you're allowed to carry a gun and you're licensed to carry a concealed firearm and your employer doesn't have a problem with it, then do it. I know one young lady, she's not allowed to carry a gun because she's got a felony conviction. So she's not allowed to carry anything of a weapon. So, well, we do have a wasp problem at the hotel. We do have wasps that no matter how many times or the exterminator comes out and knocks down the nest and does their thing, they still seem to grow back. So whenever she has to leave the desk after dark, she carries a can of wasp spray with her. It's I would hate to get sprayed in the face with that stuff, but she's carrying it because she wants to take care of any wasp nests that she happens to see, not necessarily as a protective item. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. So I don't recommend it. I'm not saying it's a good thing to do because it is a warning right there on the can. Do not spray on human beings. Don't get it in your face or in your eyes. It's right there on the side of the can. But if you're, in an area where you're known to have some wasps and you're, you always want to make certain, for customer safety that any wasp nest gets sprayed down. And she's very, very diligent about doing that. She's very diligent. So that was how my night ended yesterday. Got a nice hug from a young lady that I really hope that she does well. If she applies what I think I've seen in her to her future, she will do very well. And I'm glad she's one of the ones that when she tasted some of my cooking, I took into work. Oh, morning, ex-Bubba. How you doing today? She's one of the ones that when if I take things into work and somebody comes into work and they didn't bring anything with them to eat, I will share my dinner with them. And if the night shift person comes in and I see that they were running late and didn't have a chance to stop and get anything to eat or bring anything with them, I usually have enough that I'm taking back home with me that I will share with them and give them something to eat. Well, this was one of the young ladies that after she tasted my food, she goes, "White boy can cook. He uses spices." And they're Jamaican and they're just not they're not been able to get the food up here that they get down in Jamaica, evidently, at least not spiced to that same level. Well, I do like my spicy foods, so they really enjoyed eating my cooking. It got to be a thing of what'd you bring in tonight that you can share with us? But anyway, I guess I need to start covering some of these other things I had. Oh, Becca, thank you for sharing out my tweet. I appreciate it. I guess it's time. CNN yesterday, well, they sort of shocked me. And it was more than what I would expect. It really was. I don't know. They momentarily lifted the blinders from their eyes, I guess is the way to say it. They had a momentary full face on into reality, something that most of us have been seeing for several months, if not a year. And well, this happened.
Forgive me, but another thing, I brought this up with Senator.
Let's see if that audio went through. Yep.
Forgive me, but another thing, I brought this up with Senator Hirono. He's not the only one. They keep talking about this 300,000 strong Afghan army. That's just a lie, and they all know it. You'd be.
Whoa. Did you catch that? They called the administration out. He called the administration out for lying. This is CNN. And they called out CNN, or they called out the Biden administration for lying. Oh, I sat straight up in my chair when I saw this.
Lucky if you could fill a football stadium with the Afghan military that put on their uniform, and anybody who has served there, any contractor who has been there, any NGO that's gone in there for charitable work or food and hunger would tell you that for the last 20 years.
That number is effectively meaningless, and we've had that proven over and over again over the last couple of weeks. As you know, one by one, you've seen these provincial capitals fall and ultimately Kabul fall. The Afghan military, yes, had been trained. Yes, in theory, they had the capability and the capacity to fight, but they didn't fight. And that has always been the question that Pentagon officials have had, that NGOs, anybody on the ground has had. Yes, you can train. Yes, you can spend money there, but would they actually put up the fight? And now we know that they didn't.
It's why they told George W. Bush he had to stay. It's why they told Barack Obama he had to stay. And it's why they told Donald Trump he had to stay. And it's why they told Joe Biden that if you go, it will be very complicated. Here's another.
Now listen here. Did you hear what he just said? Okay, pay attention to what he just said here.
They told Joe Biden that if you go, it will be very complicated. Here's another piece of it. The president.
Now, we heard a general, and this was my rant yesterday. We heard a general claim that nobody could guess what would happen. Nobody knew what could happen. Nobody knew. We had no idea this was going to happen. But right here.
And it's why they told Joe Biden that if you go, it will be very complicated. Here's another.
The Biden administration, CNN right here is saying the Biden administration was warned what would happen. And they did it anyway. They didn't take any steps.
Another piece of it. The president talking about why it was important to take control of the Kabul airport.
We're in a position where what we did was we took precautions. That's why I authorized that there be 6,000 American troops to flow in to accommodate this exit, number one. And number two, provided all that aircraft in the Gulf to get people out. We pre-positioned all of that, anticipated that.
What did you think when you first saw those pictures?
What I thought was we have to gain control of this. We have to move this more quickly. We have to move in a way in which we can take control of that airport. And we did.
Two things there. Number one, this one might be nitpicking, but he says we pre-positioned all that. That's not true. Many troops were already there. There were troops moved to the region, but some troops left Fort Bragg, the 82nd Airborne, after the Taliban took power. They were not all.
This may be nitpicking. That wouldn't have been nitpicking if Trump had been in office. You'd been calling him out a big fat liar for that. You'd been saying that's a for Pinocchio lie. See, now you're back to trying to cover while we're just nitpicking here. That's not a nitpick. That's a lie.
All pre-positioned. Perhaps that's a nitpick, but this is what struck me. This is an American president. We have to gain control of this. That is an admission. You lost control of this.
Whoa. What was this? What was that he just said?
We have to gain control of this. That is an admission. You lost control of this.
The CNN is almost stumbling into the truth here. But this was it. This was as far as they went.
I mean, I'll nitpick a little further with you. And the administration keeps on telling us, on the one hand, they didn't see how fast this would happen, that the Taliban moved way quicker than even the intelligence assessment said. On the other hand, they said we had to move really quickly so that we could ensure the safety of our embassy staff. And so there's a lot of contradiction there in terms of, well, did you know or did you not know? And
yeah. He actually gave them permission there to tell the truth. Yeah, Bubba, you're right. They managed to hop that bar. That was the barrier on the ground. And Becca, you're right. The Cuomo wasn't. Well, Cuomo, I said it then, and I'll repeat what I said then. That Cuomo was a sacrificial lamb. He's the one that Democrats are going to use for years to beat any Republicans over the head that get accused of sexual misconduct with an aide or another but another administration official, whatever, a subordinate of any kind. We kicked Cuomo out. Why aren't you doing the same? We threw him to the wolves. We threw him under, yada, yada, yada. But you're right also in the fact that, it's this is the first set of blocks going to be used to put Kamala in as president. It's been 8 months now. They only have to make this last another 14 months. All they got to do is make it another 14 or 15 months. And then they will be able to say that Biden is no longer going to be president. We're putting Kamala in. And I'll be just past the point where she can have, if reelected, all depending on what the American people say and do, of course, hopefully go for a 10-year span as president. Yeah, the lies, the misrepresentations, the doublespeak, the covering the CYOA here, the self contradictions, and one person is saying one thing, another person is saying something else. In one part of the speech, they'll say one thing, then 5 minutes or 2 minutes later, in another part of the speech, they're going to say something else that contradicts the first points they made. Yeah, this is this is, and come on, we all knew this was going to happen. Anybody that looked at this knew what was happening here. And it is what it is. There's nothing that we can do about it at this point. All we're going to be able to do is sit back and ride the waves. Now, this next story I'm going to pull up here, this here is just going to be, I'm bringing this up for a couple of reasons. Previously deported illegal alien accused of assaulting Florida officer. 18-year-old illegal alien was arrested and charged this week after police say he crashed his vehicle and got into a physical alternation with an officer and fled. Perez Vasquez, the police said, crashed his vehicle and he got in a fight with the officer. And of course, if you got into a fight with him, you assaulted him. That's a given. They finally located him using canines. He was bit and taken for the hospital. The officer was also taken to the hospital for minor injuries. Vasquez, who was deported from the U.S. 3 years ago, has been charged with battery on law enforcement and resisting an officer with violence. Okay. We've got they don't know who's coming in the border, and they don't care. They're not doing background checks. They're not really looking at this. Morning, Dar. How you doing today? They're stopping the deportation of illegals. Okay, let me share this next story here. And yes, I am building to something here. Texas judge blocks Biden's sanctuary country orders for illegal aliens. A Texas judge has struck down Joe Biden's enforcement for the immigration officers commonly known as sanctuary country orders that released into the United States countless criminal illegals from local, state, and federal custody. In the ruling, Judge Tipton issued a nationwide injunction. Now, okay, let me be pretty clear here. I do not like a judge from Texas, New York, California, wherever, issuing a nationwide injunction. I don't care whether I agree with the ruling or not. I don't think a judge out of Texas should have the authority to do a nationwide injunction. That is reserved for the Supreme Court. That's not an issue that even federal appeals courts, Ninth Circuit Court, their rulings are only effective within the Ninth Circuit. Same with Fifth Circuit, Fourth Circuit, it doesn't matter. And a federal judge out of Texas should not have the authority to do a nationwide ruling like this. And this is a ruling I agree with. But I argued against it when there was rulings by judges against Trump, against rulings I disagreed with. And I'm holding that same standard here. But in February, the orders instructed ICE agents not to arrest and deport illegal aliens who had not been identified as terrorists, gang members, or recently convicted of an aggravated felony in the U.S. As a result, illegal aliens charged and convicted of child sex crimes, armed robbery, drunk driving, burglary, cocaine trafficking, grand theft auto, heroin trafficking, credit card fraud, money laundering, and other crimes have been released into American communities rather than turned over to ICE agents for arrest and deportation. All right. This was the current Department of Justice ordering ICE agents via Joe Biden to do this. Release these criminals into our neighborhoods. This is what I wanted the main thing about this article I was concerned about. Now, Tipton's ruling, though, blocks DHS from continuing to implement the orders. That's fine, because states demonstrated there's a substantial likelihood that portions of the Miranda. Okay, we'll just go on. Tipton orders the nationwide preliminary injunction to remain in effect pending a final resolution of the case or until a further order from this court, the United States Courts of Appeals for the Fifth Circuit, or the United States Supreme Court. So, all right. So basically, again, this is what I disagree with, is a judge out of Texas making a nationwide order, even though I agree with this order. But, like I said, this is something here. They were releasing criminals charged with sex crimes, armed robbery, drunk driving, burglary, cocaine trafficking, grand theft auto, heroin trafficking, credit card fraud, money laundering, being released rather than arrested and deported. All right. So those are really serious crimes. Those are very serious crimes. They hurt everybody. They hurt the American public. Our lives are at stake with these illegal aliens who have been charged with these crimes being released in our neighborhoods. But the same Department of Justice who advocated releasing those illegals into our neighborhoods, that same Department of Justice. Government says alleged Capitol rioter violated terms of release by watching Mike Lindell's election conspiracy symposium. Douglas Jensen stands accused of leading a mob that chased and hectored Capitol Police Officer Eugene Goodman inside the Capitol on January 6th. Chased and hectored. Jensen was wearing a QAnon t-shirt and had oh my God, he had a pocket knife. Oh, the shame on that. He had a pocket knife. It was in his pocket. He's got no weapons here in his hands. Okay? He's not hitting this officer. He may have said some nasty things to him, but he didn't hit him. Hectoring is not hitting. Hectoring is not causing violence. Hectoring is using words. Okay? In July, a federal judge granted Jensen pretrial release over the government's objections. That judge imposed certain conditions on Jensen, one of which was that he not uses any devices with access to the internet. That's, in this day and age, to use a favorite line of many people in authority, your cell phone has internet access. Your television has internet access. Your radios. There's radios out there with internet access. There is very few. Your refrigerator, your washer and dryer have internet access. Try to think of a device being marketed today, manufactured today, that does not have internet access. Your light bulbs. If you can control your light bulb by saying, hey, Google, dim lights, turn on lights, turn off lights, control your thermostat. I control my thermostat through my Wi-Fi. That's internet access. That's a pretty broad and unreasonable condition for bail release. But according to prosecutors, filing that flagged by BuzzFeed, Jensen violated that condition with a month after his release. A mere 30 days after his release from D.C. jail, defendant was found alone in his garage and using a Wi-Fi connected iPhone to stream news from Rumble. Rumble is an alternative to YouTube that's popular among some conservatives. Ooh, Rumble bad. Use conservatives. Ooh. During a check on Jensen, a court officer arrived at the defendant's residence and found him watching a video streaming service from his phone. He spent 2 days watching Mike Lindell's cyber symposium regarding the recount of the presidential election. Lindell, of course, CEO of MyPillow, became synonymous with the 2020 presidential elections being rigged against Trump. Last week, he held an absolutely batty. Is this a news article or a opinion piece? Is this labeled as an opinion piece? No. It's not listed as an opinion piece. So that's saying it is straight news. But an opinion is being stated here. Symposium. You know, this is where Project Veritas is suing the New York Times. And the New York Times has lost every pre-trial objection that they've brought up. And Project Veritas is actually being able to depose now at court's orders staff of the New York Times. But anyway, last week he held an absolutely bad symposium where he claimed he could prove the election could not have been won by Joe Biden. Spoiler alert, he did not show any such proof. As a result of the alleged breach of conditions, which he did, I mean, to fair is fair, honesty is honesty. He did breach the conditions of the release. The government is asking to be sent back to jail while he awaits trial. All right. However, he was granted pretrial release when his lawyer argued after 6 months in custody, Jensen felt he'd been deceived by the QAnon movement. He has proven even 6 months in jail would deter him from returning to the conspiracy theories that led him to committing assault. Assault! Where's the assault? Where's the assault? Heckling is assault? What was it? That chased and hectored Capitol Hill police officer. Hectored. So, hectoring All right. Here is the definition of hectoring. Here's the definition. You show me. Hectoring. Talking in a bullying way, a brusque and hectoring manner. Oh. Yes, to intimidate or dominate in a blustering way. Bully. To behave like a bully, swagger. I don't see the word assault anywhere there. I just don't see that word assault anywhere there. But they want, the prosecutors are claiming that he committed assault against a federal officer in a filing to revoke his pretrial release. So, going on the internet and watching a video symposium will throw your back in prison. But being charged with heroin trafficking, being charged with credit card fraud, being charged with any of these other crimes, drug dealing, auto theft, bank robbery, they aren't reasons to arrest somebody and deport them out of the same Department of Justice. Where are, the lady justices there with the scales? How in the hell are these scales? So whose thumb is on these scales? That hectoring, saying mean words to a public official is considered assault and being thrown in jail before you're convicted, but being charged with child sex crimes, armed robbery, doesn't even arrive to a person being arrested. Doesn't reach that level. This is what I'm saying. I don't understand. I can't reach a logical conclusion where I can hold in my mind both of these thoughts and say, yes, I can understand how they can reach these, how the same group of lawyers, how the same department within the government can reach both of these conclusions at the same time. I don't see it. And don't even throw into the mix all the charges being. Oh, thank you, Becca. Thank you, Becca. That is what you can cuss out a cop all day long, and they can't do nothing about it. They can't even arrest you for public disturbance for cussing a cop out. Cops love to try to arrest people. Well, they will arrest you for creating a public disturbance, for cussing them out, dropping F-bombs and whatever. But the charges never get pressed. Charges get dropped. And at worst, you file you file charges against the cop, and at worst he gets 40 hours paid vacation. So, yeah, you can't. This is. And I don't see how these things can come out of the same office. Thank you, Becca. Thank you. Antifa and BLM are proof you can set fire to a federal courthouse and not have any charges filed against you. So, once again, where do we go from here? I agree. Becca, it is a complete overreach. It is a complete overreach. Having these guys sitting in solitary for 6 months, 7 months now is an overreach. Refusing elected officials from the House and the Senate to go and visit these people is an overreach. Locking the doors to prevent them from even entering the building is an overreach. The very same people who are supposed to have oversight of these jails and of the DC police are being locked out of the buildings. You're right. Judge would never allow it. So this is why I'm saying I need somebody to tell me something really. Then Biden, they just passed, they're passing trillions of dollars of spending, money we don't have. And I'm going to walk a fine line with this next story. I'm going to walk a fine line. And I want you to understand where I'm coming from on this. Because this administration has already proven what I'm going to say. Biden to automatically cancel $5.8 billion in student loans for over 300,000 disabled borrowers. Okay. The The Biden administration announced Thursday it'll be automatically wiping out the federal student loan debt for 323,000 borrowers. The administration will be canceling the borrower's federal loan debt through the Total and Permanent Disability Discharge Program. This program allows student loan borrowers who are unable to maintain substantial gainful employment due to physical or psychological medical impairment to get their federal loans canceled. However, student loans forgiven under this program must submit formal application. Okay, formal, which can, okay, again, now are we in news reporting or are we in opinion, which can be challenging for those facing serious health issues, and many borrowers may not realize they qualify. Now, the Department of Education, okay, has the ability and authority to automatically grant the TPD discharges, okay, who are receiving disability benefits through Social Security, provided they have a disability review period of at least 5 to 7 years. The Social Security admin has previously identified thousands of disabled student loan borrowers who would qualify, and the agency shared this information with the Department of Ed, but the department did not act. All right. Why did the department not act in getting a notification out to the people who are qualified for this? All right. This is $5.8 billion in federal student loans is what we're talking about here. $5.8 billion. We're not going to, that $5.8 billion, when they're talking about $1 trillion infrastructure packages and $1 trillion other packages are trying to pass through, $5.8 billion isn't but a pimple. Okay. But where this has got me concerned, and this is actually the second time, the move follows additional efforts by the Biden administration to expand student loan forgiveness under existing programs, recently canceling $500 million in federal student loans through the Borrower Defense to Repayment program. These efforts were consistent with Biden's stated goals of providing targeted loan forgiveness. Now, that loan, the program was established under Obama to provide student loan forgiveness to students who were misled, defrauded, or otherwise harmed by predatory colleges and universities, often for profits. Okay, for-profit schools. Maybe I need another cup of coffee this morning. My lips feel like they're still half asleep. All right. Which, okay, if you were defrauded, I can understand forgiving those loans if they went back to those colleges and tried to get the money back from them. Some of those other loans that were from IT&T technical institutes that collapsed back in 2016. Anyway, yeah, there was, again, this was something that most people would have no arguments with. Just like people would not have any arguments with, well, if this guy or gal is totally disabled, they're unable to work, and they've got this loan hanging over their head, destroying them. They can't pay it back. They'll never pay it back. They got disabled after they took the loan. then yeah, all right, that's a less objectionable uh, student loan forgiveness idea. That's less than totally objectionable. My problem with this, their ultimate goal is to forgive all student loans. Yeah. That's uh, their plan is to, Becca, you got me. You discombobulated me with your post. Their ultimate goal, being pushed by the squad, of course, is to forgive all student loans. Now, remember, Obama took over the student loan program. It used to be under Sally Mae. And Sally Mae was in a quasi-governmental agency that handled student loans. And Obama felt that they weren't fair enough about it, and yada, yada, yada. And so they took it over. Well, now that the federal government underwrites all these student loans, and as soon as that happened, you saw the skyrocketing price in college tuitions. Because, well, the government's underwriting these, we can increase the charges. And more classes, more degrees got eligible for loans. At least Sally Mae did have some restrictions on what degrees, what classes could be used to be paid for out of their monies. Well, now it's the more left wing, the better. The classes are automatically approved. And of course, these people can't get jobs in what their degree is in. And one young ladies working with us now, she's got a degree in women and ethnic studies. I could not believe it when she told me she's got her degree in women and ethnic studies. And it took everything I had not to laugh out loud. Really. I mean, it took everything. I had to turn my back to her and go to the refrigerator and get out something to drink. And I didn't care what. I reached in and grabbed a bottle of water and in order not to laugh. And then she later on told me, and I almost spit the water out, that she was going for a law degree and she wanted to go to work for the government with an agency overseeing racial and female discrimination. And I'm like, oh my God. And this was a rather pleasant person. I enjoyed dealing with them. They were a good worker. And then she dropped that bomb on me. And I'll never be able to get that out of my mind, that this woman thinks that just because she's a black female, she is automatically discriminated against under any and all circumstances. Because that's what she was taught. And then I was like, oh my God. No. But anyway, this is what they're going. We've all heard about the frog in the boiling water. Put the frog in a pot of water that's cold and turn the heat up slowly, and the frog never realizes he's being boiled to death. Well, this is what's happening here, I'm afraid. We're going to accept this $5.8 billion student loan forgiveness because we can justify it. It makes us feel good, you know, da 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 da, yada yada yada. Okay, and then, well, if we forgave them for these people because they were permanently disabled, why can't we forgive the loans for this person who can't find a job in their related to their degree? And they've got this degree, they spent all this money, and what are they? They're a barista or a stock boy, or they're driving a Uber or Lyft. You know, they're working for DoorDash, and they, why should we make them? I mean, look at how they're suffering. You know, they got this degree and they're just not able to find a job in that market. And I think that, and I am so afraid, and I'm calling it now, that is the next step. That is going to be the next set of qualifications thrown out there for getting student loan debt forgiven. And they're going to be using this as a stepping stone to that. Because they found that people weren't willing to go with just wipe out student loan forgiveness because of the pandemic. You know, they had an overreach there. So now they're backtracking a little bit. And they're still letting you know their ultimate goal is 100% student loan forgiveness. They're still letting you know that's their ultimate goal. But now they're just taking baby steps towards it. I want someone to prove me wrong. I really want someone to prove me wrong on that. Please, anybody? Can anybody prove me wrong? Can anybody say anything that shows that I'm not right there? Let's see, it's time I throw this back out there in the stream again. It's been a little bit. It's been about, oh, wow, it's been an hour since I threw that out. I'm sorry. Yeah, I just want someone to show me I'm wrong. That's all. Show me where my thinking, where my logic there is wrong. Because I don't think I am. I really and truly do not think I'm wrong here. You don't know how happy that would make me to have somebody show me I'm wrong. Well, anyways. All right, so now we all know that Governor Newsom is under a recall out there in California. Yay! I want to see this happen. And I'm really hoping Larry Elder gets elected. I really hope he does. I really like Larry Elder. I used to listen to his radio show quite a bit. But then I got away from listening to radio, period. And, but anyway. And we all know how safe and secure mail-in ballots are supposed to be. Right? I mean, we all heard about how safe and secure the official position of everybody with any power is that mail-in ballots are safe and secure. 100%. There's no need even to verify signatures. Remember that? These women are breaking into an apartment's mailbox and stealing the recall ballots. Yes, they are safe and secure. Mail-in voting is so safe and secure. Isn't that just wonderful? Can anybody, again, you're right, Becca, it is a federal offense. But do you honestly believe either one of these women will ever get caught, let alone charged? Do you honestly believe either one of these women will ever get caught or charged? This is California. That is California. No, that they'll never see a day of jail time. They'll never see it. Now we all got the word. Should have gotten the word here that all of us who have gotten our COVID shots, and remember we were initially told that 2 COVID shots is all we needed, just the 2 shots, and boom, we're good to go. And anybody who said that there may be a need for a booster shot, well, no, they were just spreading misinformation, because that would never happen. There'd be no need for booster shots or anything else. Well, now it's come out that yes, we do need booster shots. And they're saying, okay, when we go to get these booster shots, there's not going to be any charges for them, because we're wanting to do the right thing. We're wanting to make certain that our country and our citizens are all immune. Oh, they already got their booster shots? Wow. Alan West is running for Texas. Oh, no, I did not know that. Well, doesn't Abbott have another term, or is he term limited out? Oh, wow. I thought Alan West lived in Florida. I didn't know he was a Texas resident. I thought he was a Florida resident. Yeah, because he represented Florida's 22nd congressional district in the House. When did he move to Texas? When did he move to Texas? Yeah. Uh, let's see here. Here's StreamYards. Get back to there, come here.
Texas, our Texas. All hail our mighty state. Texas, our Texas. So wonderful, so great. Boldest and grandest, withstanding every test. O empire wide and glorious, you stand supremely blessed. God bless you, Texas, and keep you brave and strong, so that you may grow in power and worth throughout the ages long. God bless you, Texas, and keep you brave and strong, so that you may grow in power and worth throughout the ages long. That's the state song of the Lone Star State. But when you think about those words, how do we protect those words? How do we secure those words? How do we ensure and guarantee those words for future generations of Texans? We do that by one single word, and that's legacy. Why is a guy born in Georgia and went to the University of Tennessee so passionate about the great state of Texas? Well, think about some other people who came from Georgia some time ago, that even though those words were not written, they would leave an imprint on the history of Texas to ensure those words would be written. Men like the first Vice President of the Republic of Texas, Mirabel Lamar.
Okay. This 7-minute video, but yeah, he is actually running. That's something else. Whoa, okay. I accidentally turned that audio back on. I hate it when I do that. You know, I think the answer to your question is, Ryan, is that, Texas has a lot of haberdashers, and I think every state in the union has a lot of haberdashers, because, all it is somebody who sells men's clothing. Yeah, but anyway, this is, I wonder when he moved to Texas. That's interesting. When did he move to Texas? That's definitely something new. Oh. That's right. Today's Sinatra's birthday, so don't forget to stop over by and give him a happy birthday wish. Oh, okay. Okay. So, okay. All right. Okay. I've sort of lost track of where West is on issues. Um, I've lost track of where he's at on issues because, well, he just hasn't been in the public eye that much lately for the past few years. So, but anyway, here's something that you guys, this is, whoops, what am I doing here? This poor girl. This, I feel so sorry for this poor girl. I feel so sorry for this young lady. And, well, you will too. Okay. Get the volume turned up. Gorgeous bisexual woman. I don't know. I would say good looking bisexual woman, but gorgeous. Maybe it's just a pitiful lighting you're using, but I don't know if gorgeous would be the exact term I would use for you. Oh no, she fell in love with a straight man. Oh, I can't help but laugh. Oh, I can't help it. Oh, that made my day. Finding that made my day. That was absolutely amazing finding that. Oh, yeah. Can you imagine? Oh, Becca, we got a problem here. We got a problem, Becca. Oh, really? No.
Girls, gays, and theys, I need to report a.
All right, let's see if that got the audio went through that time. Did the audio come through that time? All right.
Heinous crime I have committed. I, a gorgeous bisexual woman, fell in love with a straight man. And I am so sorry. I still think men are trash, but I am his raccoon. And my dumbass loves him. So I will update you on how much pain this is going to cause me. To the girls, gays, and theys, I need to report a heinous crime I have committed. I, a gorgeous bisexual woman, fell in love with a straight man. And I am so sorry. I still think men are trash, but I am his raccoon. And my dumbass loves him.
Okay. All right. Moved his, November 2014. Ah, okay. So this isn't. Well, like I said, it's been a few years since I paid any attention to West. Now, yeah, I didn't even know he moved to Texas, and that's been 7 years ago. Well, they can't say he's a carpetbagger that he moved there just to run against Abbott. He's been there for a while, and he's gotten himself into the Republican Party, been the Republican Party chair of Texas for the past 2 years. Okay, now you see why I was laughing so hard. This woman is absolutely heartbroken over the fact that she fell in love with a man. Oh no. And what's this? I'm his raccoon. I don't get that. I don't get that reference. Let's see if I can find anything on the intranets. Oh, raccoon is spelled with two C's. All right. Beatles, Guardian. Okay. There's nothing there about why that's a meaning. There's nothing in that I could see in Urban Dictionary about it either. So, oh well. Okay. Ryan, Sean, I'm still not understanding. Okay, what she does anything he wants. Okay, that Ryan, that's a disgusting. Uh, yeah, that's a disgusting thought. But then, wouldn't that make her happy if if he enjoys having her peg him? Wouldn't that make her happy? I mean, that puts her in the domineering position. Okay, yeah, it's yeah, that's something else. That's a little bit more weird than what I want to know. And I'm actually ashamed I even know what pegging is. That actually bothers me that I know what it means when somebody says they're pegging someone. Okay. No, I don't want to note 20. I'm not putting up any more lies out of the hill. Now, Becca, I can live with that definition of a raccoon. Now that one I can do it. Okay, that one I can live with. I'm gonna put that. I'm gonna put that. Whoops. I'm gonna put that one up here. That one deserves to be put up here to where any, because sometimes people don't. I've noticed this sometimes. Um. Oh. Okay. Yeah. When I tried pulled it up in Urban Dictionary, maybe I just because I misspelled raccoon. I only put one C in it when I typed it. Uh, but one thing I've noticed is sometimes when I go back and watch other people's streams, the chat is not there. Okay. Well, I tell you what, I had two more videos I was going to pull up, but now that I'm not in the mood for them now. Y'all have gotten me happier than what I was. So there's what in the devil is this? Okay. Oh, somebody's really doing a good job of taxidermy. They're they're sick, but yeah, this here is, you have to have the stream and click the live chat replay under the customers. Oh, yeah. Okay. Somebody actually did this in taxidermy this and put them out and is sharing them out as live critters or unlive critters. Yeah, there we go. How'd you like to see that in your woods at night, you deer hunters? uh, let's see here. Now see, Becca, somebody actually posted a snake that you would like. Now I lost it, but I'm going to see if I can find it again. And they posted a question here. They had a picture of a snake. And well, it's gone. I've lost it. And that's fine. That's okay. This is what happens when I find something interesting and then I lose it. And yes, this is something it was funny, but I can't find it now. Oh well. It is what it is. Yes, it was a double-headed snake. Yes, Becca. It actually was a double-headed snake. Somebody was laying underneath the corner of a mobile home, shall we say, and somebody took a picture of it, and then they pulled it out and took another picture of it. Oh, did you find the one did you find it? Yep, that was it. Uh, okay. Anyway, well, oh, I actually got 6 people watching. This is good. This is a pretty good stream for me today. Anywho, I've actually run out of stuff. Mitch Ripper made sure I'd see that one. Oh, okay. Let's see if there's anything in the breaking news here that needs to come up. Okay. Not worrying about oh, the usual people claiming they got bomb threats over, and yeah. Yeah, Marjorie Taylor Greene's running her trap. What else is new? Bill de Blasio singing a duet with George Clinton. Yeah. De Blasio is doing everything he can do to try to, he's going to run for governor. GOP continues attacking Biden over Taliban takeover. Trudeau out there campaigning. WHO director booster shots in richer countries make a mockery of vaccine equity. Yeah, okay. The countries have got to take care of their own people. They're sending free vaccines to Africa. All right, but we still got to cover our own country first. State Department, nobody's being tested for COVID before they're evacuated out of Afghanistan. But the question I haven't seen anybody ask, they're asking about that, but they haven't asked anything about are these people going to be tested and held in quarantine for a month after they get here? Did I see Green's arm lift video? No, I did not see Green's arm lift video. What is Green's arm lift video? Arm lift surgery update. No. Arm lift challenge. Oh. Well, that one's actually kind of funny. Ty Green's arm workout. Ty Green. Let's see if Becca can find it. Okay, this one here is kind of cute. This is a arm lift challenge for you. Okay, and let's full screen this. Volume. Oh. Share screen. There we go. And there is no audio to this. Yeah. That's one way to lift people up. That got a rise out of her. Woman's nightclub sex video. Yeah, okay. All right, there's nothing there. Oh, you did find it, Becca? Great. Because I was looking for something. I couldn't see anything that looked like it'd be too interesting. What did you find? Okay. And there's that. It's opening. Let me pause it. All right. Share screen, audio. Was this it? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Keep going, keep going. 7. Stop. 8.
Yeah. Okay, is that supposed to be MTG doing pull-ups?
2, 3, 4.
She's got some muscles there.
6. Keep going, keep going. 7. Stop. 8.
Yeah.
Okay. 2.
Well, nobody. There's nobody can say that she didn't do them, because she definitely did those. Get that. Shut that off in my. I don't need to be hearing that anymore. All right. Yeah, we need. Okay, don't know what that is. Don't care. Don't care. Okay, gotta find something cute, something funny. Yep. It now I my Becca, my arms. I used to be able to do pull-ups like that back when I weighed under 200 pounds or thereabouts. Becca's only 2 nerve slushies away from doing that. Uh, I I want. Oh, you'll be getting Monday streams a little more often than once a month now. It looks like. Saw my doctor this week, and he is, instead of doing monthly, every 4-week infusions, he's moving it up to every 3 weeks. Hey, Neil. Yeah, you caught us right here the last few minutes of the stream again. That's all right. You can always play it back later. So instead of every 4 weeks, we're going to go every 3 weeks. He's trying a new infusion. He's trying a new medicine if my insurance will approve it. He says that his nurse said that they've gotten it approved for a couple of other patients that are using it. So hopefully they'll approve it for me. So that Monday, we'll be doing a Monday stream every 3 weeks now. Yay! Boo! Yay! But this one here, instead of being an IV, is subcuticus. I think that's how it's pronounced, but I don't. I mean, it goes under the skin, but I mean, is it like, does it go into my upper, my tricep area or what? So, we'll see. I'm being interested to see where this needle goes now to put this on this infusion. And supposedly it's not going to take the 10 hours that it normally takes for my infusion, but supposedly he said it'll be down to around 5 or 6 hours. That will be pretty nice. I've got a really great nurse. Nurses can make the whole difference on this. I've got a really great nurse. I've had the same one now for the past few years. He loves to cook like I do. We share. 1 month I do the cooking. The next month he does the cooking, and we supply lunch for each other. We sat down last time. We sat down and watched the first 7 or 8 episodes of the original Star Trek series, and watched a couple of Uncle Roger videos. And if you've never seen Uncle Roger video, you need to watch an Uncle Roger video. Well, Neil, the reason we're having to swap to new medication is the old one's not working as well as it did before. I've just been on it for about 7 years now, and it's not working like it did before. Oh, Ryan, I'm absolutely certain he's not my wife. Okay. Believe me, because my wife can't stand Star Trek, and she's nowhere near as good of a cook as he is. He does have his FFL license, and Well, I don't know. He doesn't know if it's immunity issue or if it's just the progression of the disease. I've got a feeling it's a little bit of both. I've, it's like I told him, about the third week, I've halfway through about 2.5, 3 weeks into after one infusion, I've got Star Trek, the one with the cute teddy bears. No, that's Star Wars that had the cute little teddy bears. Unless you want to call Tribbles teddy bears. No, it's James T. Kirk. I can't impersonate his voice, but I can do his cadence. But one of the episodes I totally forgot about this continuity mistake. In one of the episodes, they say his middle name, it isn't James T. Kirk, but James R. Kirk. And I was like, let me see if I can, if you're a Star Trek nerd like I am, James R. Kirk. Right, where no man has gone before, the tombstone reads James R. Kirk. Let's let's see here. I'm reading it, and it doesn't say what it was supposed to be. Oh, here it goes. When according to DC Fontana in the introduction to Star Trek: The Classic Episodes 1, when the mistake over the middle initial was discovered, Gene Roddenberry decided that if pressed for an answer on the discrepancy, the response would be Gary Mitchell had godlike powers, but at base he was human and he made a mistake. Okay. All right. I guess that works. You can't just say we screwed up. Battlestar Galactica Wars. The original Battlestar Galactica was amazing. I love the original series for all the goofy jokes and everything else went along with it. I loved it. I tried watching the remake, and I just couldn't do it. I could not watch that gender swapped, race swapped, dirty, gritty mess that they made into and called Battlestar Galactica. I just couldn't watch it. And everybody's, oh, it's amazing. It's amazing. No, maybe it's amazing if you never watched the original series and wasn't a fan of the original series and didn't know nothing about the original series. But to me, somebody who grew up watching the original series, it was trash. Not all the Klingons have the forehead ridges. There are smooth heads. There are some smooth brains there. A movie night. Okay. All right. Everybody, everybody, next Friday. All right. A favorite movie and a detested movie in the same genre. All right. Or or come up with a great remake or a horrible remake. And it's be easy to come up with a horrible remake. But, a TV series or show that you really loved, and then a reboot that you felt absolutely destroyed it. Okay? Got to have one good and one bad. And, and if possible, be willing to come on stream and talk about it. Let's not make this where all I'm doing is reading chat. But let's come up with some favorite remakes, some favorite and not so favorite movies and remakes, okay? That'd be fun. And good. They were talking about doing a remake of Casablanca. I'm trying to remember where they're talking about redoing it. Yeah, this was okay. IMDb's got something here. Yeah, there were several people talking about trying to remake it. And let's see here. They wanted Idris Elba in it, Leonardo DiCaprio, Ryan Gosling. That was who's going to be. And then for the lead actors, and let's see, Frida Pinto, Margot Robbie, and Marion Cotillard. Never heard of her. French, no wonder. All right. Keira Knightley. Oh, God. No, never. Never. Don't do that. Not Keira Knightley. So, all right. Yeah. What? Well, it's like they talked about redoing the Maltese, or they did do a remake, I believe, of the Maltese Falcon, and that was absolutely the Maltese Falcon. And let's see here. Who was going? Did they actually do it or didn't they? No, they did not redo it. Not since the Bogart one. The Bogart was the last remake. So it sounds more like Suicide Squad 3 than Casablanca. Yeah. Yeah, it's okay, but yeah, we're going to have homework for everybody now. All right. One awesome movie or a series and a horrible attempt at a remake, or what you consider a horrible attempt. The problem is, Becca, is what you and I would consider classics. They can't stand them because they're misogynistic, they're white privilege, they're too patriarchal or whatever. Because they can't have men being men and women being women. mean, if you watch any of the John Wayne movies, all right, there were no wimpy women in any John Wayne movie. None of his movies had a wimpy woman in them. And I'm trying to think with here, Clint Eastwood movies. The only time I can ever remember a wimpy woman being in a Clint Eastwood movie was that Sandra woman that he was dating for a while, and he put into a couple of his movies back to back to back. And a blonde-haired woman that couldn't act her way out of a paper bag. But he put her in a couple of his movies. And there's one movie where she played the weak woman. But mostly, I mean, most of the really good movies, men were portrayed as strong men, women were portrayed as strong women. But the strengths were always different. Sandra Locke, yeah, thank you, Dar. You knew who I was talking about. God, I couldn't. And when she tried to sing, oh my God, that was worse than fingernails on a chalkboard. Oh, I could not stand it. But I guess when you're getting it on the side, you keep it close to you. But that is the only reason I could think of for putting her into any of the movies. And Sandra Locke was a horror. She ruined the movies. Could have been great, but because of her, they were only good. So, but anyway, yeah, next week, movie week. That's all there is to it. Next week is movie week, okay? And I'm going to call it now. It's actually, my throat actually lasted the whole 2 hours today. I'm not as, you're right. She wasn't an actress. I think the only roles I think she ever got were ones with in Clint Eastwood movies. I don't remember her ever being in anything else. Okay. Come on, fingers. You know how to type. Oh, she did die. Oh, she died. I'm sorry to hear that. Dead at 74. The Heart. She won an Academy Award for The Heart is a Lonely Hunter. Let's see here. Died in 2018 at age 74. Let's see. 30 credits. Okay. Well. Okay. Yeah. Here it is. Sudden Impact. The Rosemary Clooney movie. Bronco Billy. Any Which Way You Can. Yeah, Every Which Way But Loose. The Gauntlet is the one I remember her. That and the Every Which Way You Can, Every Which Way But Loose are the ones. Outlaw Josie Wales, yeah. I mean, like I said, Eastwood put her in as many movies as he could do it. Night Gallery. Well, that was in 72. So, but anyway, y'all have a good time for the rest of the day. Becca, you go ahead and get back to work. Morning, Ghost Dog. Becca, you can get back to work, find somebody else to listen to. Next week, we're going to do movies, favorite movies and TV shows with the most hated remakes of both. And, as much as possible, be with the ones you love and always love the ones that you're with. Y'all have a good day now.